Yeah.
Hello, hi! With me, Mirayazid in UiTM KPO. So, how are you? Of course, you are fine, right? Today, I have a interesting video about food poisoning among students in UiTM Puncak Adam. UiTM Puncak Adam. If you want to know more about that, let's watch this video. Zas.
Hello, reach me in PK UiTM Puncak Adam, dyahnasir, for the latest information of the issue food poisoning. Let's go. Excuse me, yes. Can I ask you something? Yes. I hear that rumors spread among students in UiTM Puncak Adam got food poisoning. Are you one of them?
Oh no, it's not exactly happened. It's from digestive problem actually.
Is it?
Yes.
So, can you explain more about this issue and what exactly happened?
Oh, yesterday.
Hungry? Let's go.
Joey,
What's wrong, Tina?
I'm so hungry, you know?
So what?
Oh, I want to eat.
Let's go.
Okay.
Gina, are you sure you want to eat all of this?
Yes. So?
Are you sure?
So what?
Auzubillahi Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma barik lana fima razaqtana wa qina azabannar. Let's go. What's wrong, Gina?
Oh,
Are you okay?
pain. Sakit. Oh, my stomach. Oh my god. Oh.
Like that. Oh, I see. That's mean.
Yeah, man.
The anatomy of the small intestine. The small intestine is divided by three regions. The duodenum is starts at the pyloric sphincter of the stomach and extends about 25 cm. The jejunum is about 1 meter long and extends to the ileum. The final and longest region of the small intestine, the ileum, measure about 2 meters and join the large intestine. Mechanical digestion in the small intestine. What? Oh, thank you, Hawa. Mechanical digestion in the small intestine. Mechanical digestion divided by two: segmentation and migrating motility complex, or MMC. Segmentation is a mixing contraction that occurs in portion of intestine distended by a large volume of enzyme. By smooth muscle of the small intestine, continually mix content with digestive juice and move food along tract, allowing sufficient time for digesting and absorption. Migrating motility complex, or MMC, is push-shine forward a long short stretch of small intestine before dying out. Chemical digestion. When enzyme entering small intestine contains partially digest carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acid. Carbohydrates digestion. Carbohydrates digestion divided by three enzymes, which is salivary amylase. It may continue in the stomach for a while. Pancreatic amylase has no effect on another polysaccharide known as cellulose. And disaccharide. Disaccharide not act until they reach the small intestine. Disaccharide divided by three: sucrase, lactase, and maltase. Sucrase breaks through sucrose into a molecule of glucose and a molecule of fructose. Lactase digests lactose into a molecule of glucose and a molecule of galactose. And maltase splits maltose and maltodextrose into 2 or 3 molecules of glucose. Digestion of proteins. Digestion will start in the stomach and complete by 2 peptidase, which is aminopeptidase is to remove amino acid at the end of a peptide. Dipeptidase is to split the peptides into single amino acid. Digestion of lipids. Digestion of lipid is digested in small intestine. Enzyme that include is pancreatic lipase. The digestion of nucleic acid. 2 nucleus are further digested by brush border enzyme called nucleosidases and phosphatases, which been divided into pentases, phosphatases, and nitrogenous. They are absorbed via active transport. Absorption of monosaccharide. Monosaccharide pass from the lumen through the apical membrane via facilitated or active transport. Active transport use energy, fight concentration gradient, and carrier protein. Facilitated diffusion not use energy, follow concentration gradient, and carrier proteins. Absorption of water. Absorption of water depends on absorption of other substances such as electrolytes and proteins. Absorption of vitamins. Vitamins is a simple diffusion of lipids such as A, B, C, D, E, K as a simple diffusion and vitamin B12 as active transport. Absorption of electrolytes. Absorption of electrolyte active transport ascended. Gina. Thank you. Absorption of electrolyte as active transport and secondary active transport. Hello. Amino acid, dipeptidase, tripeptidase. Amino acid is absorbed via active transport or secondary active transport with sodium. Dipeptidase and tripeptidase are absorbed via secondary active transport with hydrogen ion. Secondary active transport is when dipeptidase and tripeptidase join active transport of amino acid. Amino acid move out of the absorptive cell via diffusion and enter to the blood capillaries of the villus. Micelle. Micelle divided by 2, long-chain fatty acid and monoglyceride. They are transported by simple diffusion through the macrovilli. Long-chain fatty acid and monoglyceride, they are combined to form triglyceride, which aggregate into globules along with phospholipid and cholesterol and become coated with protein and are called cylomicron. Cylomicron leave the absorptive cell via exocytosis. Exocytosis is a process where the cylomicron attach to another microvilli and still in one cylomicron. And lastly, cylomicron are transported to lymphatic vessel. Thank you. Bye. This is an anatomy of a large intestine. The large intestine, which is about 1.5 meter long and 6.5 cm in diameter, extends from the ileum to the anus. The large intestine extends from the ileocecal sphincter to the anus. Its region include the cecum, colon, rectum, and anal canal. Mesocolon is a double layer of peritoneum. Ileocecal sphincter allows material from small intestine to the large intestine. The open end of the circummagus is called the colon that divide into ascending, transverse, descending, and sigmoid.
Hi, I'm Dr. Yudi. I will share with you about the histology of the large intestine. The wall of the large intestine contains the typical four layers found in the rest of the GI tract. The mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, and the serosa. Firstly, mucosa consists of simple columnar epithelium, lamina propria, and muscularis mucus. Simple columnar epithelium consists mostly of observative cell and the goblet cell. The function of observative cell is to absorb water, and the function of goblet cell is to secrete mucus. Secondly, lamina propria also have solitary lymphatic nodules, and lastly, muscularis muscus. Secondly, submucosa consists of areola. Then, muscularis consists of circular layer of muscle and longitudinal layer of muscle.
Now, I want to tell you about chemical digestion in large intestine. So, come on. Now, I want to tell you about chemical digestion in large intestine. This process as final stage of digestion occur in the colon through the activity of bacteria that inhabit the lumen. Glands of large intestine secrete mucus but no enzymes. Chymes is prepared for elimination by the action of bacteria, which influence any remaining carbohydrates and release hydrogen, carbon dioxide, and methane gases. These gases contribute to flatus gas in colon. Bacteria also convert remaining proteins to amino acids and break down into simpler substances such as indoles, ketone, hydrogen sulfate, and fatty acid. Function of indole and ketone in the feces as contributes to their odors. The hydrogen sulfate and fatty acid are transported and absorbed to liver, then is converted to less toxic and excreted in urine. Bacteria also decompose bilirubin
to simplest pigments such as cetacobylin. Function of cetacobylin in the feces is give brown colors. Bacterial products that are absorbed in the colon includes several vitamins K and vitamins B for normal metabolism.
Absorption and feces formation in the large intestine. Some has remained in the large intestine 3 to 10 hours and it becomes solid or semi-solid because of water absorption. And now it's called feces. Chemically, feces consists of water or inorganic salts, slough of epithelial cell, which is it from the mucosa of the gastrointestinal tract, bacteria, product of bacterial decomposition, unabsorbed digested materials, and lastly, indigestible part of food. 0.5 liter of water that enters the large intestine, but about 100 to 200 milliliter is normally absorbed via osmosis. The large intestine also absorbs ion, including sodium and chloride, also some of vitamins.
The defecation reflex. Must the peristaltic movement push fecal material from sigmoid colon into rectum. Result: distension of rectal wall stimulates stress receptor, which initiate a defecation reflex that empties rectum. Started. Receptor send sensory nerve impulse to the sacral spinal cord. Motor impulse from the cord travel along parasympathetic nerve back to descending colon, sigmoid colon, rectum and anus. The resulting contraction of the longitudinal rectal muscle shorten the rectum, thereby increase the pressure within it. This pressure along voluntary contraction of the diaphragm and abdominal muscle plus parasympathetic stimulation open the internal anal sphincter. The external anal sphincter is voluntarily controlled. If it's voluntarily relaxed, defecation occurs and the feces are expelled through the anus. If it is voluntarily constricted, defecation can be postponed. Voluntary contraction of the diaphragm and abdominal muscle aids defecation by increase the pressure within the abdomen, which push the wall of sigmoid column and rectum inward. If defecation does not occur, the feces back up into the sigmoid column until the net waste of mass peristalsis stimulate the stress receptor. The amount of bowel movement depends on diet, health, and stress. Normal range of bowel is 2 or 3 times per day, or 3 or 4 times per week.
Japhelic phase of digestion, the smell, sign, third or initial taste of food, are activated in neuron center at cerebral cortex, hypothalamus, and brainstem. Brainstem activate fascia, glossopharyngeal, and vagus nerve. Fascia and glossopharyngeal are stimulate salivary gland to secrete saliva. The vagus nerve stimulate gastric gland to secrete gastric juice. The purpose of the cephalic phase of digestion to prepare the mouth and stomach for food that is about to be eaten.
Gastric phase is regulated by neural regulation and hormonal regulation. The function of gastric phase is to promote gastric secretion and gastric motility. Neural regulation started when the food reaches stomach. This will increase the pH of gastric juice and cause distension or stretching of stomach wall. It will be detected by chemoreceptor and stretch receptor. Nerve impulse will propagate to the submucosal plexus and activate parasympathetic neurons and enteric neuron. Cause peristalsis wave to stimulate flow of gastric juice from gastric gland. Peristalsis wave will mix the food with gastric juice. When wave becomes strong enough, chyme will undergo gastric and emptying into the duodenum. pH stomach chyme will decrease and distension of stomach walls lessen because chyme has passed into small intestine. This will suppress the secretion of gastric juice. Hormonal regulation is stimulated by gastrin released by G cells of gastric glands. It is stimulated by several stimuli, which are distension of stomach by chyme, partially digested proteins in chyme, increased pH of chyme due to presence of food in stomach, caffeine in gastric chyme, and ACTH released from parasympathetic neurons. Gastrin released into the bloodstream and reach its target organ in the digestive system. It stimulates gastric glands to secrete large amount of gastric juice and strengthen the contraction of lower esophagus sphincter, which will prevent reflux of acid chyme into esophagus, increase motility of stomach, and relax pyloric sphincter that will promote gastric emptying. This process is inhibited when pH of gastric juice is below 2.0 and stimulates when pH of gastric juice increase.
First, neural regulation. Distension of the duodenum by the presence of chyme causes the enterogastric reflex. First, stretch receptors in the duodenal wall send nerve impulses to the medulla oblongata, where they inhibit parasympathetic stimulation and stimulate the sympathetic nerve to the stomach. As a result, gastric motility is inhibited and there is an increase
in the contraction of the pyloric sphincter, which decreases gastric emptying. For the hormonal regulation, the intestinal phase of digestion is mediated by two major hormones secreted by the small intestine. First, cholecystokinin. Cholecystokinin is secreted by the CCK cells. It stimulates secretion of pancreatic juice that is rich in digestive enzymes. Next, it also causes contraction of the wall of the gallbladder, which squeezes stored bile out of the gallbladder into the cystic duct and through the common bile duct. Next, it causes relaxation of the sphincter of the hepatopancreatic ampulla, sphincter of Oddi. The second major hormone secreted by the small intestine is secretion. It stimulates the flow of pancreatic juice that is rich in bicarbonate ion. The major effect, it inhibits secretion of gastric juice, promotes normal growth, maintenance of the pancreas, and enhances the effect of CCK. Next, it causes buffering of acid in chyme that reaches the duodenum and slows production of acid in the stomach.
Okay, today I want to explain about the three major hormones that control the digestion. There are secretin, gastrin, and cholecystokinin. In mucosa of pyloric antrum of stomach, there are enteroendocrine G cells which will secrete the gastrin. The stimulus of the gastrin secretion are distension of stomach, partially digested protein and caffeine in stomach, and high pH of stomach chyme. The major effect of the gastrin are promote secretion of gastrin juice, increase the gastric motility, and promote growth of gastric mucosa. The minor effect of gastrin are constrict lower esophageal sphincter and relax pyloric sphincter. Mucosa of duodenum, there are enteroendocrine S cells which will secrete the secretin. Acidic chyme, which will enter the small intestine, will stimulate the secretion of the secretin. The major effect of the secretin is stimulate secretion of pancreatic juice and bile, which is rich in bicarbonate ion. The minor effect of the secretin are inhibit secretion of gastric juice, promote normal growth and maintenance of pancreas, and enhance effect of CCK.
Yeah, man. So we back in the club with our bodies rocking from side to side. Yeah, man. So we back in the club with our bodies rocking from side to side.
Dyahnasir, UiTM News, back to studio.
Asila.
OMG, that's not about food poisoning but malabsorption actually. So you all be careful, okay? Just eat a little but feel good, okay?